here, and I am thrilled that you have found time today to be with us. I'm going to tell you, I am blown away by the interest in this effort, and we've had more than 420 women sign up for this program. Wow. So I think more of you will be coming in as the morning goes on, and because of this great interest, we are intending to do this again, so you can tell your friends and acquaintances as well. And I want to thank Eventbrite and Julia Hartz for hosting us today. This is a very special that they have hosted of this size, and they have just moved in here, I think 6 weeks ago. Wow. So you're going to get a real bird's eye view of what a really powerful up-and-coming company is all about. So we are very grateful. Eventbrite is a concept of democratizing live events through ticket sales. I'm pretty impressed by what I've seen, as I'm sure you are. We actually put our event on Eventbrite, and that's how many of you found out about it, I'm sure. And the good news is that this is a woman-owned company. Ticketmaster, move over. I'm really looking forward to hearing Julia's comments, as I'm sure you are as well. She said that they actually conceived of the name of their company on the drive down to Carmel to get married. Aww. I know, isn't that great? It's like us to think that was pretty neat. So she hired the first engineer on the day after her first child was born. And this powerhouse has now sold over $2 billion in gross ticket sales. So you're going to hear much, much more from her. I'm also pleased that the Small Business Administration Regional Administrator, Donna Davis, will be here and will be speaking, and District Director Mark Quinn. Our goal today is to connect you to the resources that are available to make you a successful business owner. We want to also thank the Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. They have shown tremendous leadership in putting together some of the workshops, and particularly thank Sharon Miller and Paula Connolly for being great partners throughout this effort. Cameo, Kiva, Springboard Enterprises, LinkedIn, SCORE, Mom Workforce, Working Solutions, Moolah Hoop. I want to know more about Moolah Hoop. The San Francisco Department on the Status of Women, and Circle Up were also key partners for helping make this event possible. So thank you all. So you see this right here. When America succeeds, when women succeed, America succeeds. And that has indeed been our mantra in Congress this year among the Democratic caucus, particularly the women in the Democratic caucus. In fact, just last week, we completed a bus tour. We flew into Syracuse, New York. How many of you have been to Syracuse, New York? You have. And then started our bus trip in Seneca Falls, where in 1848, Elizabeth Cady Stanton gave a speech in which she declared the sentiments of women to get the right to vote. And we thought that was an apt place to start this bus tour. And we went to Albany, New York, and then into Boston, then into Ohio, and finished in Chicago. So it was quite an experience. Because we got to Seneca Falls a little bit early, I got up early in the morning and took a little bit of a walk run in the statuary trail. And lo and behold, there is a bust of the first woman mayor of Seneca Falls in the year 2004. Now what's wrong with that picture, right? So that's where it all started, but it took them a while to figure out that women could lead in Seneca Falls. So America succeeds when women succeed is really founded on very strong data. So as you are either starting your companies or growing your companies, remember these things. A global market initiative study released by Goldman Sachs found that investing in women is the single best way to obviously reduce inequality, but also to drive economic growth. We also know that companies do better when women are in charge. No, Companies with 3 or more corporate directors who are women outperform those with no women on the board by 84% return on sales, 60% return on invested capital, and 46% return on equity. A 2012 report by Dow Jones found that a company with 1 woman executive, either a vice president or a director, was more likely to be successful. In Silicon Valley, in our neck of the woods, a 2009 study found that venture-backed companies run by a woman had an annual revenue that were annual revenues that were 12% higher, used 1/3 less capital, because we know how to do things on a shoestring, right? And had lower failure rates. Now, what more does any company need, any venture company need, but to realize hiring women, seeking women entrepreneurs is the ticket to great success and profits. So these statistics actually beg the question, why aren't more women in charge and leading the way in our business community? How many of you have seen the Atlantic Monthly cover story on the confidence gap? If you haven't read it, I really encourage you to read it. It was written by 2 journalists who had interviewed lots of very successful women, and they saw one thing in common, and they saw it in themselves as well. And that is that women lack confidence. Men have a surplus of it, women lack it. They found that when men and women are asked what salaries they deserve, women ask for 20% less. Now when you think about that, over the course of your working lifetime, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars less in income. In fact, I've seen some statistics that suggest it's as high as $1 million less in income. When they apply for jobs, a woman will not apply for a new position unless she believes that she meets every single one of the qualifications, 100%. How about for the men? A few men in this room. You all know that you'll take on that job and you'll apply if you have 60% of the qualifications for the job. So, what is really critical here is to point out that success is more correlated to confidence than it is competence. So whatever that B12 injection you need to instill more confidence in yourselves, get it. I've seen it in the public square in my entire political career. Women expect to be tapped on the shoulder to say, you should run for office. Men don't hesitate to run, having never done anything in politics ever before. And it shows. So, the other thing that's really quite interesting, it's never too early or too late to start a business. And, in fact, between the ages of 55 and 64, Americans are responsible for creating 1/4 of the new businesses in this country. Woo-hoo. So how many of you between 55 and 64? All right, you're part of the 1/4 new businesses that are going to be created in the United States. Women are the fastest growing sector in new small businesses, increasing 20% in just the last 5 years. You are set to succeed. And this event is designed to make sure that you do just that. Some of the obstacles that have been put in front of you are obvious. Some of them deal with structural policies that need to be changed. Some of them need to do with accessing capital. Despite women making up 30% of small businesses, the federal government's goal for agencies is a pitiful 5%. So there's a structural change we have to work on. But it doesn't stop there. They don't even meet that 5% goal. About 4% of the contracting is done with small businesses. In the Department of Defense, that's where we have $500 billion worth of expenditures a year. The number of small businesses owned by women that are contracted with is like 3.3%. But I have good news for you. This year, in the National Defense Authorization Act, I was able to sneak in an amendment. I didn't sneak it in, actually. But I did get an amendment into that bill that will take away the obstacle for women-owned small businesses to be sole source contractors in the federal government. And that is a huge win for women in this country. Beyond that, we've got great talent in the country, in government, to help steer you. Our new director of the Small Business Administration is Maria Contreras-Sweet. I worked with her when she was in the cabinet for then Governor Gray Davis. She's very enthusiastic with her recent appointment and very focused on making sure that women can access capital. And she's also working with us to push the sole source contracting opportunity for women as well. If women entrepreneurs in the U.S. started with the same capital as men, they would add 6 million jobs to the economy in just 5 years. Women are great entrepreneurs, and they are great creators of jobs in this country. So, as you look for capital opportunities, if that's one of the obstacles that you have seen in your way, we have lots of exhibitors here today to help you, including Wells Fargo, San Francisco Fire Credit Union, Northeast Community Federal Credit Union, San Francisco Federal Credit Union, and indeed the SBA. So in between the workshops, I hope that you will avail yourselves of those exhibitors who can help you as you grow your business. I'm now going to, well, there's two more things I want to say. The other thing that SBA is doing that is really important is they're looking at trying to create a different way of creating a credit score. It's called their total credit score, which is combining an entrepreneur's personal credit score with his or her business credit score to make it easier and less time intensive for banks and business owners to do business with the SBA. I think it's incumbent on banks in this country to give small business owners loans. We have not been very good at kind of squeezing them. I know we have some of our bankers here in the room, so listen loud and clear. When we guarantee the loans, when the federal government is willing to guarantee these loans, and you don't make them, we are failing America's business. And it's time for us to find ways to encourage more banks to lend to small business owners with the backdrop of the Small Business Administration guaranteeing those loans. This event is designed to give women entrepreneurs the tools they need to succeed and thrive, and to give you an opportunity to network with each other. As Tory Burch says, we need to create a new old girls club to help each other succeed. I'm particularly happy that we also have the dolphin tank here. You've probably seen the Shark Tank on TV. Well, the dolphin tank is a creation of Springboard, and it's a softer, gentler way of taking your company ideas and putting it in front of experts and them giving you some feedback on what you need to do, or connecting you with those who can help your business grow. So you're going to have an opportunity to do that as well today.